What's up, everyone? I'm Redtail, and this is a bit of an unconventional video. I thought I'd make it while it was still fresh in my mind. Yesterday, I saw that Slipknot had uploaded some photos in regards to their 25-year anniversary of being a band, and in regards to that photo was the promo for the new masks they had on. Now, I don't believe these are the concrete masks that they will be wearing on stage. Sorry, my voice has gone already. I have been shouting a bit at a screen today. But I don't believe these are the masks entire that they are wearing on stage at the moment. From what I saw, I believe Clown had a bit of a different mask on. The reason I say it's an unconventional video is I don't really go into things that are me outside of the little square that you see on the internet here. But to be honest, Slipknot is one of the most influential bands of my entire life. Not even just my teen years, but my childhood as well. So I've been listening to these guys since I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. And as soon as I saw this image pop up, I was super hyped, super excited for it. Especially with the original members such as Corey, Jim, and Mick, as well as Clown. Those four had. Sid has a new one that's interesting in its own right, but especially the four that I just mentioned. So Corey, Mick, Jim, and Clown or Sean, they have some very interesting masks that I want to say is going back to their roots. I mean, to be fair, Mick has never even really changed his mask. At some point, I do want to talk about the album that it looks like potentially will release way later this year or next year when they do eventually reach 25 years. That is in regards to, it was essentially like a lost album, I believe, but I will do a bit more reading so I can put a video out on that later. Now, there are some gripes that I have with this as well, so just bear with me while I pull this up for a sec. There are some gripes I have with some of the members here. Now, that's not for lack of, oh, I don't like the members. No, this video is specifically on the masks and what I'm liking about this. Okay, so I can see I've already pulled this image up here. Now, the first thing that I want to focus in no particular order here, I'm not a big fan of the starch white here. I understand that it can, like, for them, it might seem unsettling here. So, like, Tortilla Man, for example, the dreads coming out righto, it's very much in the vein of what Corey did with his mask, going back to what it was in Iowa and when they first started out in their self-titled album Slipknot. I'm not a big fan of it. To be fair, if they were to cut the dreads off and put them in different spots, I am a big fan of he's got the zippers over the eyes now, so instead of just being like pinholes like Corey's one from the last album, from We Are Not the End So Far, I'm glad that he's changed from that and he's gone to like bondage zippers as well. Same as he's kept it over the mouth as well. I do believe there is an alternate version of this too. It's got no. Personally, this is the only one in white that I like. It's got full white, and I think I'll be able to pull an image of it up. So it's full white, no eyes, right? So it's like been put in liquid starch and molded to his face, and he's got horns there, and the horns are either like movable or detachable, and it just doesn't look like he can see at all. I doubt he can see it because that's the whole idea of Slipknot's mask, is that they're very they're meant to be uncomfortable because the music they're playing and writing is coming from a very uncomfortable point of view, which I do. That's one thing I've always admired about Slipknot, is the fact that they take something that has made them feel very uncomfortable and shit and just put it on like a pedestal and say, this is the worst thing that we've gone through. Now we're going to make a shit ton of, a shit ton of money out of it. So that's like my major thing. Yeah, as I said, the major problem that I have here with this is the white of the masks. Now, congrats, man, on Eloy for joining Slipknot, for being picked. From what I'm aware, I haven't listened too much to his other music. I'm not really too sure what other band he is from. If you're being picked by Slipknot, you're a very well-accomplished musician. They're not going to just pick some Joe Schmo they found at a local dive bar playing metal. With the last one, Jay Weinenberg, I believe his father was touring with Springsteen. and has been doing so for a while. So they've already picked something from essentially music royalty. He's a masterclass before he even joined. I don't really have an opinion about on him leaving, but I congrats on Eloy for being officially named and also having a mask here. Um, I'm not sure if this was picked for him. It does look like that it may have elements of something that he wanted to. Personally, it's not great. It's very bare bones, but then again, they didn't do that the same for their bass player. Shit, I can't even remember. I feel really bad about that. That I can't remember their bass. Not Paul Gray, mind you, um, but for the new bass player and for when Jay joined as well, they gave them pre-made masks, very bland, bare bones. Like it was still the uncomfortable. It was still Slipknot, but it wasn't like the guys that had been there from day one. Uh, Personally, what I think they could do with this one, I like the bondage zipper touch there. They've all essentially brought that back except Mr. Root. I'll get to that one in a bit because that is starkly different. I do like the bondage zipper they've got on that one there. Uh, Very much paying homage to the roots of most band members started off with the bondage mask. The the shaping of the face is pretty good. I like that on there. I do like that it is a scale. I believe uh, the bass player's one when he first joined didn't have any emotion whatsoever, so I didn't like that. It's the main gripe that I have with the new percussionist. Who again I feel really shit for not knowing it. Their name. It's the thing that I have an issue with because this is the guy that has now come in after Craig Jones has left. Um, Craig Jones, the psycho, always used to have nails out of his helmet. I don't think he really changed it from. Uh, God, I think he was wearing the same stuff. Either he switched mid Iowa. He was in between Iowa and Volume 3. That he switched to the pointies. But that's the problem that I have with his counterpart now. There's no emotion on the face. Like I really appreciate the Ray's like gore, but it's not really like it's too clean. It's too Slipknot has always been about uncomfortable, dirty goats, blood, running around in a abandoned barns, setting shit on fire, causing complete anarchy, not giving a fuck who else thinks about it. And that's what people, if anyone is going to watch this at all, that's the thing that they'll say, oh, but it's Slipknot. They don't give a shit what your opinion is. I understand that, but also as a lifelong fan, do I do want to weigh in on it. As I said, I do like the raised thing he's gone for. I'm not sure if from this image I can't tell if they're stitches or not, but I do appreciate that he's gone to the effort instead of just keeping it stark white, which I do believe Eloy could have tried a bit better with. What I do want to see from that is they could go down a very interesting route, and each new show, just like they've got with the eyes, right? It looks like they've got black goo coming out of it. They could have something like fresh blood coming out, or fresh like black stuff coming out of that bullet hole, looking like he's just been shot at the start of every show. It would definitely lean into the idea with Slipknot is their masks start off new, right? And as they progressively wear them, they get dirtier and dirtier. They smell worse and worse, just all the sweat. That mask could turn out really good just at the moment with all the promo stuff and how new it is. That effect isn't coming across the way that I thought it possibly could be. But again, that's just my opinion. If you want, you can hog me for it. I don't really mind. This sounds really bad saying I'm a lifelong fan of Slipknot. I'm sorry. I prefer listening to the first three albums predominantly. So I think Alessandro. I keep getting. I never have really learned to. It's either Alex or Alessandro. I'm just gonna stick with Alex. I do like the fact that he's gone for like his mask from fuck. So Alex, I'm gonna stick with calling him that. I do like that his mask has. It looks like it's almost the underneath of his mask from uh the was it the Grey chapter, and also We Are Not Your Kind has stayed exactly the same. I don't even think I saw him on the videos that were released for the end so far. So it was definitely the mask has definitely stayed the same from what I've seen. But I like now how it looks like it's been either chipped away or peeled off. And it looks like this marble, like this cracked marble porcelain look underneath it. I think that actually is a very niche look. I'm not 100% on board with it, but that actually does look quite striking, quite cool there. I do like that a lot. And the way as well that it's now like properly shaped to his face, he hasn't already had any pre-made mask. They've finally sat down and say, okay, I think it was fuck. I did see another video on YouTube. The guy is like good friends with Sid Wilson. I will be getting to that one. That is like the second to last one I want to talk about. But he did comment on it, essentially saying the exact same thing that. And that's just my opinion as well. I've sat here for a while looking at it, and I fully agree, 100% agree with that one. Uh, that being said, there's no bondage zipper. I mean, like, if there's no bondage zipper with you guys, like, it's not fitting in with this. It is more of a, yeah. I mean, there's nothing else I can say on that one. Clean, solid, bit too white for my opinion. I didn't like it, but I do like the fact that it could be going in a pretty decent direction. Like the way the lighting is on this one, it either looks like the new porcelain is coming over it, or it's being his original mask is being torn off and the porcelain is underneath it. That's just the way the lighting is, and the way that they've put the like purple blue filter hue on it. Mick Thompson can't really say much because he'll come out of my closet in the evening and rip my limbs off while I'm asleep in bed. This guy is terrifying. He's a unit, but he's also one of the best, like I want to say new metal, but not essentially. He's one of the best guitarists I've ever listened to in regards to a live setting as well. Because I have gone to see them at Knotfest twice. Actually, no, once. Sorry. I have listened to a lot of his live sets in my own time. Stellar performer. Very quiet though. He has followed the same line of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think from Slipknot all the way through to now, there has been minor changes. He's every once in a while, looks like he's like put a scar there or like a rust color. He definitely had a rust color look for the Grey chapter. I do know that one. So there was a bit more like the faded look, and then he's just gone back to the straight, clean cut. It looked, from what I recall, the first one had fucking paper mache on it. But yeah, he's followed that. I'm not going to speak out against it because, as I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and he will rip my limbs off in the middle of the night if I do. So yeah, there's not much I can say on that one. Now, I keep saying now a lot. The Jester, Sir Root, the Court Jester. This one actually got my attention because it's not just regular. It's not only paying homage to his original mask, which with all these ones, I hopefully will be able to find an image that isn't copyrighted and I can put these up. And when I'm saying homage, right, I mean like not dead on, because it was just a bondage mask, which like if you've seen the documentary, like water was like slowly filling up in his face. But the first one he had the full face Jester, but with red and orange like coloring around the eye, which is in direct contrast with, not direct contrast. It's like this is directly what's happening here in regards to that. But it's interesting because it's also like light reflective paint. So depending on what light it is, if there's like a spotlight on it, it's gonna light up. And when there's no paint, there's no light on it, it's still gonna have that orange pop. So you're gonna be able to say, "Hey, I remember when it was like that when it was the full face Jester mask." I'm not gonna really go into his other masks that he's had because they have relatively stayed the same. Have never been the greatest fan of. I prefer the full face mask. I've never preferred. I get the chin cutting out because he's got the huge beard, but Mick Thompson's always had a huge beard. So that one I'm not really going to speak on. I've seen another one where he's been on stage and there's a zipper covering it. I think that's really kick-ass anyway, that he's still got it on there, but I see why it's not. Overall, again, not a fan of the Force Dark White, but it will get dirtied over the course of the tour that they're doing. So the worldwide tour, that will definitely get way dirty. And I really like the cool reflective paint that's paying homage to the original Jester mask. Now, I know I said I was going to talk about this one second last, but I'm not. Sid Wilson, my God, DJ Starscream, uh, what we'll call him is Sid. A solid gold mask, bro. That is ballsy. Like the drip on that, like you are putting rappers to shame. Having that thing on your face, like I don't understand how like is that thing has to be heavy. That can't be good for your neck, especially that age. Like constantly looking down at a scratching board, at a mixing, like at a turntable scratching, looking down like that. Especially the way that the way he thrashes his head around, dude. Like I've seen a full black carbon fiber one, but this one is absolutely mint. I think it's putting every rapper to shame. It's a big fuck you and a middle finger to them in regards to, yeah, you don't have to be uh, in the mainstream to be covered in gold. I really like that about this mask. It doesn't fit the aesthetic. It definitely, the way that the eyes protrude out has never really changed from his original one. The way that the right eye comes out a bit more, like if you're facing the direction he is, the right eye comes out a bit more, same as the broken eye socket that was in the Grey chapter. I really do like that one as well. And also, he's got like a weird robe on. How can you not like that? This dude is like the Emperor Palpatine, and then the rest of them are just the temple guards. The way they just stand around him all the time. Now, the two that are the most prominent, like, come on, how can I not talk about these two? Clown Sean Crahan. Going back to the West German mask is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. This thing was one of the things that stood out to me the most when I first started looking at Slipknot videos. Like this shit legitimately gave me thoughts of wanting to run away whenever I went to the circus. I hated this. That's not the reason I was initially scared of Slipknot, by the way. I was 6 years old, but this is one of the contributing factors. They were so off putting. This is the first thing I ever saw. Going back to the West German mask, now, one thing I will say, he's essentially. It's the OG mask. I hope this thing is the original mask. It's probably not. That thing's probably been thrown out into the dumpster. The only difference is there's no hair this time. They've just cut that off and it's only the front of it. I still think that is an absolutely perfect option for this one. It is dirty, it's gritty, it's got they've taken the teeth out and put the bondage zipper in. I actually find that one to be the only thing about it. This is the only mask with the bondage zipper that I don't like. I personally think they could have put the teeth back in. Other than that, great, fantastic decision. I'm literally a giddy schoolboy about this because it has taken me back to so many memories of just watching music videos, and just this is the mask I see from from the original era, from either from the no, this wasn't even in Iowa. This was in just the this is the first mask off their self-titled album, and it's taken me back to being such a giddy schoolboy, being able to see that this mask has made a return. Probably his best mask. How can you beat the OG? Like I'm stopping because I'm just thrilled that it's made a return. I think it's his best mask. The first mask I understand why he needed to change it because everyone else was changing it and blah blah blah. It's like if you don't move. To be fair, it could have been a lot like he could have done what Mick did. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This mask is the classic. I don't. Whenever I think of Clown, I don't think of Iowa. I don't think of Chapter 3. I don't think of All Hope Is Gone. I don't think of anything else. All I think of is the West German mask. That's someone says, "Oh, what do you think of it?" I can't put it any more simply. This is his best mask. And we come to the front man himself. Oh, hear ye, Sir Corey Taylor. I mean, it's back. It's back in all its glory. I think this is very much a combination. I've seen another picture. Sorry, there's someone on my chair. I have seen another picture of this one front on. It is so much a combination of the original. So it is Slipknot self-titled Iowa, so like that, hence the dreads. But it's also got a lot of subliminal versus like the front of it, like the burnt dead skin look, that is on it as well. So it has probably his everything about the masks that I like. The first Slipknot song I ever video I saw was Psychosocial, right? Wasn't the first song oh, fuck me. So the first Slipknot song that I ever heard was like, I think it was, oh god, before I forget, off Motorstorm. However, the first video I ever saw was Psychosocial, and that probably had his worst mask. Actually, that is a lie. That is a complete lie. Have you seen this? That is his worst mask. That is a crime against humanity. This takes his current mask, I have to say, uh, other than Clown, like at this current time, is the best mask of the group of Slipknot. This is it takes everything that everyone loved about Iowa, everything that everyone loved about the first album, which was just his literal fucking hair has come back, and or they've it's not if not his, which was the first mask that he ever did. So they've literally put someone's dead hair on there, and they've also taken elements from the burnt, as I said, the burnt flesh look from chapter 3, and they've combined it, and they have made probably the best mask that I have seen come out of Slipknot in the last two or three albums, probably the last 3 album cycles. I've disliked the only thing about Corey's mask that I like from the end so far was the fact that he took no, I hated the fact, sorry. The only thing I really liked about his mask from the last album was when it was in full. Unfortunately, they did top the chop of it off. That was the only thing about the All Hope Is Gone era, that it was too his mask was like the white one, way too basic. But I cannot stress enough that his mask and Clown's mask, probably the best masks that have ever come out of Slipknot, not including Joey's. I'm blown away. I seriously am. There is the album that I want to talk about in the future, but this is absolutely fantastic that they brought this back. I don't think that I'm wrong in saying that everyone would agree that this mask is like taking the first 3 masks essentially and combining them is probably the best decision that could have been made, because the last 3 album cycles, like, the great chapter of many people say everything past chapter 3 has been weak. But All Hope Is Gone, weak. Great chapter, weak. We Are Not Your Kind, weak. The end so far, pretty bland as well. But I have to say wholeheartedly, I think this is the best mask that Corey Taylor has ever worn, and I hope it stays for the whole tour cycle, the whole 25 years. I'm super impressed. Well done, guys. Really building back strong after that absolute clusterfuck of an album. This new one that they are putting out, the hopefully is coming out, I understand it is meant to be a very experimental one, so I'm not expecting a huge metal album from them. My expectations have changed. The last one took me by surprise. I was very taken aback and unhappy with it at whatsoever. But that is not what I made this video for. So I would have to honestly rate Corey's and Clown's mask out of 10, like 10 out of 10, just across the board. Mick and Jim, I would probably have to give them somewhere between maybe 6.5 to an 8, simply for the fact of, okay, it's a massive homage. And then Sid's is just because it's that ballsy, I'd give that one a 7. And then the other guys, yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm not a fan of the white, so I probably have to give like the worst ranking one here to Tortilla Man. Sorry, especially with this one. It's not great. It's really not. The other one, the alternate mask, is like a decent, really decent. And then Eloy and this other fucker's one here, I still don't know his name. Don't give a shit either because he's not Craig Jones. Probably the weakest ones here. This is pretty what is it that Markiplier says? This, I hate everything about this. But yeah, solid effort, guys. Cannot wait to see what changes that if they are trying to see if they're going to try and make changes during the tour set for their live ones. But as promo ones and stuff they'll be wearing in music videos, I cannot speak highly enough of this. Super excited to see them come down next year for their 25-year anniversary. Yeah, so that's been my opinion on this one. I hope you all enjoy the video. Please leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!